Can anyone hear me? My name is Richard Ryder. Are you? I am the last Nova.
I shoot the lights out.
Galactus House Full.
High till it's bright out.
The wave is here.
Oh, just another lonely night.
I will buy you some time. Run.
Are you willing to sacrifice your life?
Hello everyone, I've been playing the game Marvel Cosmic Invasion recently. The story is inspired by the comic event Annihilation, but the game keeps things pretty simple. The story follows a villain named Annihilation who launched an invasion across the entire universe. Many heroes and villains become infected by mind-controlling insects, turning them against everyone else. Our mission as heroes is to stop the invasion, rescue either heroes or villain, and save the universe before it's too late. In the end, the heroes win the battle and manage to kill.
Not so easy.
The story begins from the perspective of Drax the Destroyer, who is being transported to a maximum security prison known as Kill. Inside Kill, there are some of the galaxy's most dangerous criminals, including the Blood Brothers, the mercenary lunatic, and Payback. During the transport, the prison ship is suddenly attacked and destroyed in this space. The damaged vessel crashed into Earth, landing near a small town in Alaska. Drax and several deadly prisoners survived the crash. As the surviving inmate regroup, the Blood Brothers immediately attack Drax. A brutal fight breaks out between them. Elsewhere, Lunatic and Payback decide to head toward the nearest town. On their way, they encounter two children named Kami and Dex, who had gone out to investigate the falling star. Terrified, Dex immediately runs away. However, Kami bravely tries to communicate with the stranger. Realizing that Kami is only a child, Lunatic and Payback ignore her and continue towards the town. Kami continues towards the crash site alone. She eventually encounters Drax. At that moment, Drax mistakenly believes Kami is his daughter, the daughter murdered by Thanos. Painful memories float back into his mind. Seeing Drax emotionally vulnerable, Kami takes advantage of the situation and tells him that the Blood Brothers trying to hurt her. Still trapped in his delusion, Drax instantly attacks the Blood Brothers, smashing them across the battlefield with overwhelming force. The scene shifts back to Lunatic and Payback, who quickly seize control of part of the nearby town. While Payback is speaking, Drax and the Blood Brothers suddenly crash through a wall mid-fight. Annoyed by this battle, Payback decides to eliminate Drax once and for all. Using his shape-shifting abilities, Payback transforms into Thanos in an attempt to manipulate Drax emotionally. Blinded by rage, Drax charges toward the false Thanos. But before he can strike, Lunatic suddenly impales him from behind, killing him instantly. Drax is already dead. Moments later, Kami and Dex carry Drax's body to a cliff and throw it. After returning to town, Dex desperately attempts to contact Earth superheroes, but no one responds. Meanwhile, Kami's security returns to where Drax's body fell. To her shock, Drax suddenly rises from the dead. His new body is slightly smaller, but something about him feels even more dangerous than before. Determined to help him get revenge, Kami brings Drax back to town. The first target is Lunatic. The confrontation lasts only seconds before Drax brutally kills him. Next comes to the Blood Brothers. Drax manipulates them into a fight in a chaotic battle that ultimately leaves one of the brothers dead. Just before the surviving brothers can be finished off, Payback suddenly arrives and stops the fight. Payback activates a device stolen from the prison guard and then signals another prison ship. When Drax finally wakes up, he discovers that both he and Kami have been captured and taken back into custody once again. The scene shifts to Thanos. The Lady of Death appears before him and warns that something massive is about to happen across the universe. She tells Thanos to pay close attention to every detail because the coming event will change everything. Meanwhile, Kill, a planet that functions both as a maximum security prison and a massive energy generator, is suddenly attacked by a terrifying army of powerful insect-like creatures. The assault becomes known as the Annihilation Day. The attack destroys entire system. Several planets lose power completely, and many dangerous prisoners manage to escape during the chaos. The story then moves to Shandar, where the Nova Corps become more aware of the mysterious threat and place all forces on maximum alert. Drax and Cammy eventually arrive on Shandar as well. Without warning, the Annihilation Wave launch a brutal invasion against the planet. Every Nova soldier is ordered to fight to protect Shandar. One of those soldiers is Richard Rider, a human member from the Nova Corps. The Nova Corps quickly realize they are hopelessly outnumbered. Then suddenly, a massive energy blast tears through the battlefield, killing countless Nova soldiers, including Richard's close friend. Richard barely survived the explosion. Horrified, he witnesses the unimaginable destruction caused by the Annihilation Wave. Even so, Richard continues fighting until the very end. At the final stage of the battle, Richard becomes the last surviving Nova on Shandar. As he struggles to stand, the Shandarian World Mind, the supercomputer that stores all of Shandar history, knowledge, and military data, began communicating with him through his helmet. The World Mind ordered Richard to save it, reminding him that he is now the last Nova in the universe. While exploring the ruins of Shandar, Richard discovered that several Annihilation Wave creatures are still roaming on the planet. Consumed by rage, he attacked them immediately. The World Mind urgently tells Richard to flee instead, warning him that his current power is nowhere near enough to stop the invasion. Realizing this, Richard used the last of his strength to escape. Following the World Mind guidance, he reached the hidden chamber where the supercomputer is stored. The World Mind explained that the only way to fight Annihilation Wave is to merge completely with Richard's mind, making him the sole barrier of all Nova knowledge and power. As the World Mind merged with him, Richard absorbed its unimaginable energy. From this point onward, Richard Rider becomes Nova. Empowered by the full Nova force, Nova immediately destroyed several Annihilation Wave warships with overwhelming power. However, the energy is far too great for his body to handle. Losing control, Nova explodes in mid-air and crashes back into the ruined surface of Shandar. Later, Nova is discovered by Drax and Cammy. They manage to survive the invasion by hiding inside the escape pod. Drax suggests that Nova work together with him. The three begin searching for the surviving spacecraft. Along the journey, many Annihilation Wave creatures continue roaming across the destroyed planet. Nova becomes afraid to use his power again, worried that he may lose control. Seeing this hesitation, Drax decides to help Nova learn how to control his abilities. Using the last remaining ship they can find, Richard activates a Stargate and the group escapes Shandar. Sometime later, the damaged ship began falling apart and is about to crash into a nearby planet. At the last possible moment, they are rescued by Quasar. Quasar explained that he has been traveling across the galaxy trying to save as many lives as possible before the Annihilation Wave arrive. However, after recognizing Drax as a dangerous criminal, Quasar questioned why Nova would ever trust him. Nova explained that the Annihilation Wave is far beyond anything they can handle alone, that Shandar itself has already fallen. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Quasar agreed to cooperate. Together, they plan to open another Stargate and evacuate as many as possible, while Nova and Quasar remain outside in space to buy some time against the incoming wave. But just as the Stargate began to activating, Annihilus personally arrived aboard. Fueled by rage and desperation, Nova unleashed all his power, smashed directly into Annihilus' wave. Watching from the ship monitor, Drax immediately recognized Annihilus. He explained that the entire Annihilation Wave operates through a hive mind structure. If Annihilus dies, the entire wave dies with him. Realizing this, Nova and Quasar launch a direct assault against the flagship. But Annihilus had already anticipated everything. He set a trap and captured Quasar. Annihilus drained his cosmic energy and vaporized him with a devastating energy beam. Nova attempts to continue fighting, but the World Mind warns him. At that moment, Nova makes a desperate decision. He allows Annihilus to bravely access his mind. For one short moment, Nova manipulates the hive connection and causes the entire Annihilation Wave to attack himself. Realizing this is their only chance, Nova escapes before Annihilus can stop him. Shortly afterward, he collapses unconscious in space. Nova is eventually recovered by Drax and Cammy. After being branded a traitor to the Grey Empire, Ronan the Accuser returns to clear his name by hunting the person responsible for framing him, Annihilation. His search leads him to the dangerous place, Gotham Omega, where he reunites with former Kree soldier named Korat. Few seconds later, they encounter Nebula and Stellaris, who reveal that the planet is controlled by a criminal faction called the Graces, led by Gamora. As Ronan searches for Annihilation in a region called the Abyss, he discovered that the planet is overflowing with a strange cosmic energy, and suddenly Gamora attacks him. At the same time, a cosmic being named Glorian is secretly manipulating the planet to create his own utopia. Ronan and Gamora clash in a massive battle that devastates the city, but their conflict accidentally draws attention of Annihilus. Soon after, the terrifying Annihilation wave invades Gotham Omega and begins slaughtering everything inside. Even Glorian realizes his power is nothing compared to the endless armies of Annihilus. While Ronan fights to protect civilians, Gamora forces suffer devastating loss, and Glorian dreams civilization is completely destroyed, and lost his mind. After the invasion, Ronan and Gamora discover that Annihilus has already been killed. Realizing the threat of Annihilus, the two finally put aside their rivalry and agree to unite against the Annihilation wave. As the Annihilation wave consumes entire galaxy, Annihilus unveils a terrifying living superweapon known as the Harvester of Sorrow, capable of destroying an entire planet with just a single blast. The story follows Super Skrull, one of the few surviving Skrull warriors strong enough to resist the invasion. After learning that the Harvester is targeting a planet where his son at, he asks the Skrull leadership for permission to form a strike team, but is humiliated and denied because of his past failure against the Fantastic Four. Furious, Super Skrull abandons the Skrull military and becomes fugitive. Secretly aided by a young Skrull named Arkin, whose father once served under him. Determined to destroy the Harvester from within, Super Skrull travels to Earth and asks for help from his biggest enemy, Mr. Fantastic, also known as Reed Richards. Mr. Fantastic provides experimental technology to enter the negative zone. Inside, Super Skrull discovered that the Harvester was created by a scientist named Howl and kidnaps him. He also frees several prisoners, including Praxagora, a brilliant robotic warrior scientist who later joined his mission. During their time together, Super Skrull reveals that he once abandoned his own son to protect his military reputation, and saving him now has become his chance at redemption. Howl eventually explained that because the Harvester is a living organism, the only way to destroy it is by poisoning it from the inside. After a few days, during the operation, Arkin betrays the group to the Annihilation wave. As a result, the planet where Super Skrull's son was stationed is destroyed. Super Skrull later escaped using his hidden telepathic power, and it's revealed that Arkin betrayed him because his father died following one of Super Skrull's old commands. Enraged, Super Skrull brutally attacked Arkin and changed him inside the Harvester itself. In the final battle, Praxagora decides to sacrifice herself by overloading the Harvester from within. Refusing to let her die alone, Super Skrull used his Human Torch power to protect her long enough for the plan to succeed. Before the explosion, the two share a final kiss, and Super Skrull ultimately gives his life to destroy the Harvester forever. Praxagora survived and later tells story of his sacrifice beneath a massive statue built in his honor. For the first time in his life, Super Skrull is remembered not as a conqueror, but as a true hero. After the destruction of Sandar, Silver Surfer arrived and discovered that the attack was actually a trap created by Annihilus to lure Galactus heralds. Among the ruins, Surfer rescued the dying Airwalker from the Seekers, led by ruthless Ravenous. Unable to save his old friend, Surfer grants Gabriel a painless death before realizing the Annihilation wave must be stopped at all costs. Meanwhile, Thanos secretly allies himself with Annihilus. Although Annihilus accepts the partnership, he refused to reveal the true purpose behind the invasion, making even Thanos suspicious that something far greater is happening behind the scene. Elsewhere, Surfer is aided by former Herald, Firelord, and Redshift against the Seeker. Soon after, Stardust brings Silver Surfer to Galactus, who warn him that two ancient cosmic beings, Thanarebus and Aegis, have awakened and coming to kill him. Knowing a massive cosmic war is approaching, Galactus grants Silver Surfer power nearly equal to his own. Empowered beyond imagination, Silver Surfer destroys entire Annihilation wave and then defeat Ravenous in the battle. In the end, Galactus orders Silver Surfer to guide him far away from the spreading war, knowing that if Annihilus reached him at full power, the balance of the universe itself would collapse. Meanwhile, Thanarebus and Aegis secretly working together with Annihilus to destroy Galactus. The Annihilation wave becomes nearly impossible to stop. In response, Nova formed an alliance called the United Front, uniting heroes, villains, and former enemies against a single target, Annihilus. On the ground, Nova fight alongside Ronan, Drax, and Gamora. Meanwhile, in space, Firelord, Redshift, Stardust, and the Herald of Galactus battle endlessly to stop incoming reinforcements from the negative zone. Despite their effort, the United is slowly overwhelmed. During the war, Firelord destroyed a ship carrying one of Annihilation Queen and captured her alive. But during the interrogation, she revealed horrifying news. Galactus has fallen. At the same time, Drax discovered that Moondragon has been captured by Thanos and immediately leaves to rescue her. Soon after, Praxagora arrived carrying the body of Super Skrull. Before the Alliance can regroup, Ravenous suddenly attacked their base using teleportation technology provided by Thanos. Massive reinforcements from the negative zone arrived, forcing the United Front into retreat. During the escape, Ronan and Firelord battle Ravenous together but eventually overwhelmed. And then, unexpectedly, Super Skrull rises from the dead and rejoins the war. As defeat becomes inevitable, Annihilus unleashes a devastating cosmic blast powered by stolen energy from Galactus and Silver Surfer. Redshift and Stardust attempt to stop it, but both of them instantly get killed. A few weeks later, the surviving force regroup near Earth, where every strategy against Annihilus fails. Ronan warns that Earth will soon become the next target of the invasion, before returning to the Kree Empire to face judgment for his accused crime. Surprisingly, his partner for the coming mission are his old enemy, Super Skrull. Elsewhere, Drax survived the blast and reached Thanos' ship. In there, Moondragon revealed the horrifying truth. Annihilus planned to destroy both the positive zone and the negative zone using Galactus' power so that he alone will remain alive. Even Thanos became disturbed and secretly decided to betray Annihilus by shutting down the machine, draining Galactus' energy. But because he can do so, Drax attacked and killed Thanos in rage. Later, Drax rescues Silver Surfer and helped free Galactus, demanding only that Galactus protect him and Moondragon in return. Once released, Galactus prepared to confront Annihilus personally. Meanwhile, Ronan and Super Skrull arrive at Kree Capital. Fighting through endless enemies, they confront Ravenous in final brutal battle. Ronan unleashed so much power that he destroyed his own weapon, and together, two of them finally kill Ravenous. When Ronan emerged victorious, the Kree people no longer see him as a traitor, but as a hero. Back in space, Silver Surfer unleashed his full cosmic fury against the Annihilation wave, while the Kree fleet arrived to reinforce the United Front. For the first time, Annihilus is forced to retreat. But before Galactus can personally face him, Nova launched a final assault alongside Star-Lord and Pyla. Determined to end the war himself, Nova locked them away and charged directly at Annihilus using the full power of the Nova Force. At the critical moment, Pyla breaks free and weakens Annihilus with a massive energy blast. In that single moment, Nova delivers the final strike, and Annihilus dies.
Is this a win? Yes, Annihilus is dead. And now, looped back. Trillions of innocent life are gone. There are no wins when it's war, only loss. And remember this, one story ends, another will begin.
The Lord Annihilus live.